Anyway, welcome to the team call, guys. This is Mike Alleman. Got Michelle Alleman, the Yankees, the Adcocks, the Williamses, Buffy. And we got a lot more people coming on here in a second. But it was a great day. Michelle's got her glasses on. So it'll be a short call. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm going to turn this over to, you going to turn it over, Jonathan?
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to say something.
Welcome to the team call today. I am really excited to have Jonathan share some wisdom. Jonathan he's an amazing producer. He's an amazing team player. And gosh, what he does to support the team, I can't even, you guys know what I'm talking about. He's always answering his phone. He will be glad to help anyone on the team. And that's just who he is. So Jonathan, take over. You got this tonight, Mike.
Go for it, Johnny. He'll put you in the car, and if you don't do the right stuff, he'll put you in the trunk. That's what I heard.
Thank you, Michelle. You're so sweet. Can you guys hear me okay? Awesome. All right, so yeah, if you guys don't know me, Jonathan Yankee, married to my beautiful wife, Megan. There she is. And yeah, really excited. I think I know most everyone on the call, but I want to start the call out with, we just started the second quarter, and we've already been a month in, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's already the end of April. Pretty crazy, but I'm excited about a lot of things. But one thing I'm most excited about is just the insurance industry as a whole. Like when I started in this business, I started August of 2015. I thought the industry was pretty crazy then. As far as like all the opportunity that's available to us and what it can do for you, income wise. And now, coming up on 6 years later, I feel like the industry is probably 10 times better. And I was asking myself, I was like, I don't know really why I feel that way, So I just started writing some stuff down to figure that out. And I think there's really two things that stand out. One is I'm a better agent, a better person in general because of the business. And I can truly say that if it wasn't for the team and the mentors we have, I wouldn't be better. Obviously, I had to choose to get better, but I think that's one big reason. I've been in the industry longer, and I'm just a better person overall because I've chose to stay and to work. If that makes sense. And I see that for other people too. Like I see, everyone on our team, Jeff, Katie, guys that have, been here longer. Good things happen when you just keep staying at it and you get better. You don't really realize how much better you're getting. I think the second reason that I wrote down is with the system that we have now compared to when I started, there's so many more things that we do have access to that I didn't when I started. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I'll get into a few of those details towards the end. And I want to hear from some other people about your week, but I'm going to start with just kind of how my week went. So I've been giving myself pretty big goals this year as far as what I want to accomplish quarter by quarter, production wise and recruiting. But with production, I've been focusing on, yes, we have leads to work, which I've still been working them. But we also, if you've been here a year, you have current clients that you can actually reach out to and do a review on. Even if you've been here 6 months, you do, right? So I want to share a couple of stories that I hope stick out to you. So the first client I helped, his name's Reggie Knox. Okay. He's a guy I wrote up about 2 years ago. And I had done an annual review with him last year in April, like literally right after the pandemic hit. Okay. And he told me it was April of 2020. He said, Jonathan, I'm not ready now, but I want to increase my coverage in like 3 months. Okay. So give me a call in like 3 or 4 months. I didn't call him. Okay. I'll just be honest with you. I'm not perfect. So I think my first point is people want you to call them, especially if you have clients. Okay. If we think they don't, we're in our own head. So we just need to get out of our way and realize people want us to reach out to them. Mm-hmm. So he ends up calling me. He called me last week. He was like, hey man, I never heard from you, but I still want the insurance. And I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. He was like, don't worry about it. You know, can we look at what I can qualify for? I said, sure. So I wrote him up. That was like almost $1,000. 3 other apps came from leads, which I booked. And then this story is something I want you guys to use. I want you to use the resources. So I have a buddy who was in town. He has his own trucking business, and I've been talking a lot about IULs to people. So I've gotten better at explaining them. Well, he wanted to set up an IUL for his business as like a tax-free retirement, right? So I wrote him up on that and a large term policy for his family. He's got 1 kid now, and he's got another one on the way. The point of the story is, when I started, we didn't have resources where you could sell IULs so easy right now. Because it does take time to learn how to talk about them, but not 5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I've just been talking about them for like the past 6 months, so I was prepared. But we have a link where right now, if you have no idea what an IUL is, it's just a tax-free retirement vehicle. That's it. That can be really powerful for anyone under 50, I would say. So if you guys are on the call and you have any client under 50, you can schedule an appointment with Gina Hawks, and she can literally explain, and she's very good at explaining. She can explain it to your client, and they'll just be like, okay, where do I sign? Literally. Mm-hmm. And all you have to do is just schedule it and be on there with her, which is something else I'm going to focus on doing the rest of the year, is just looking at people that need help with retirement, right? And I'll post these links on our Slack channel when we're done. So if you don't have them already, you'll have them on there. But it's just a link you can go to and you can schedule it. All you have to tell your client is, you know, are you saving for retirement right now? Do you have anything at all? Most people probably aren't. And if they are, it's through their work. So most people are going to be like, well, even if I am, I'm probably not saving enough, right? So all you have to ask them is like, are you saving for retirement? That's it. If they say no or a little bit, say, well, would you be open to a conversation with one of our specialists? Sure. You don't have to know anything about it. You just ask them, right? And then we have these links where Gina or Chris can have these conversations and help more people. Because I wrote like just over 10,000 in a week, and it wasn't anything special. It was just using the resources. And I tell you that story because I hope some people can relate to it, right? Because the bread and butter of our business is just getting up and contacting people. It's really not, it's calling them and going and seeing them, or, you know, talking to them on the phone. but it's really just figuring out what they need help with. It's not so much I'm this brilliant guy that knows everything, you know?
Mhm.
It's really not. And people genuinely can feel you just trying to help them out.
Mhm.
But we have all the specialists we need. That's my point is, you know, it doesn't have to take you 5 years to do the same thing.
We have Crystal has
Yeah.
House.
Yeah, and there's tons of leads. I mean, these were from referrals and current clients, a few of them, but 3 were from leads, and I have a ton of lead appointments this week. So, like, the opportunity's there. We have the support, and it was a big reminder for me this week that we have all this stuff and, you know, to use. So I kind of want to hear from like Jeff or Katie or anybody who wants to speak up, like anything from your week that stood out, any goals you want to share with the team that you have for the next quarter, and anything you might be like unsure of or need help with, right? That's what the call is for. So
I got one, Johnny.
yeah.
So this week was a little bit interesting for me. I had
Mhm.
some that was off of a lead, off of a go by. And I haven't been in the field in a very, very long time. So it was kind of nice to have the ability to go out and like talk to people and kind of, I mean, obviously y'all have been out in the field the whole time. And
Mhm.
for me, it was just trying to still get a feel of wear a mask, don't wear a mask. What's the comfort level of the different people, you know, stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
But so a majority of my production, I would say probably 3,000 of it came from that one family. It was like, I've got a brother, I've got this, I've that. And
Mhm.
let's face it, there's a lot of times where we have a number of different stories that it's just like that. I mean, we saw Michelle posting stuff like that on Slack this week about trying to get the whole family in on it.
Mhm.
But probably the most interesting one I got, and I don't know how many people do their birthday texts or not,
Mhm.
but when you have a family situation and they have like the 18, 19, 20, 22-year-old children, I mean, I text the child, but then on their birthday, but I also text the parent, you know, because if the parent's the one that's paying for the policy and stuff like that, you know, they're the ones who I generally reach out to as well. So this week I had one that was like that. I reached out to the parent and to the child. And of course the child didn't respond, but the mom did. And she's like, my husband, his brother has cancer. So we're trying to maximize like our coverage and all this other stuff. So I ended up writing a policy on the husband just because I let the mom know that I was there and wanted to wish the daughter happy birthday and things like that. So that was another, it was probably close to 1,000 for that one as well. So just being creative on when you send birthday texts, if you're not getting responses and stuff like that, send it to the parent too. You know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Michelle's got a question. I didn't see what she said though. Okay.
You see it?
Yes, adult children over 18. Yes, I do text if there's a policy on the adult child that's over 18, I text the child and the parent or whoever the payer is on it. Because generally, if they have younger children and then they have adult children, we have to get them obviously if they're over 18, we get them their own policy. But I text for both. I text both the parent and the child too.
Cool.
Sometimes I'll get.
So if they're under 18, you don't text the child? Is that
No, I
what's
text
that?
the mom. I text the parent.
Okay, thanks.
And Katie, you said that came from a lead from a go by that all of that did?
No,
Or-
3,000 was a lead from a go by, and it was a birthday text that popped up, and she had just turned her birthday. She just turned 19 this year.
Gotcha.
The
But
child had turned,
the go by lead, you wrote multiple apps on that, correct?
correct.
Gotcha. So what are some questions you asked? Like just for myself, like I've never heard your door knock script. So like, can you tell us how that went and how you asked those
And
questions.
clarify the go
Yeah.
by and the door knock, people who may not know.
Right. So like what Katie means by go by is just someone who filled out a letter, signed it asking for information, but has not answered the phone for a week or two. Right, Katie? Okay.
Right. And to be honest with you, I
Yeah.
had this one since probably end of March. So it's been a month, and I got it as an A1. So either somebody else had already contacted them, or maybe they just never answered the phone. Who knows? They said we never got in contact. Nobody ever got in contact with us. So for those of you that are working the multi leads, there's still some profitability in there, so my script when I go and do a go by is I have a clipboard basically, and depending on if it's raining or not, I have like one of those clear protectors with a blown up copy of my license, and also a stack of leads, so it looks like there's multiple leads and I'm busy and things like that. So I take them and I go to the door and I knock on the door and say, hey, my name is Katie Williams. I'm a licensed insurance agent here in the state. We have been trying to reach you about this postcard we sent out. This one was a final expense. This postcard that we had sent out to you a couple of months ago, just hadn't been able to reach you, and I was in the area. So they let me come in, and they're like, yeah, we're available now. You're lucky my husband just got home, is basically what they said. And ended up writing mom, dad, the granddaughter, and the son that lives with them at the house. And that, like I said, that was probably about 3,000. And the rest of it's really just, getting to know people and doing that transition, whether they want me to be there, like whether they want the appointment right there, or they would rather have it, maybe the next day or something like that.
Right. Well, it sounds like you definitely slowed down and were aware of who else might need help too, right?
Right. Absolutely.
I think sometimes we speed up and forget to, slow down and be aware enough of other people in that family, or even just slow down enough to ask questions, right?
Right.
Questions that we would ask our own family, So that's a really good story about just, because I'm sure you didn't just walk in and write the app. I'm sure you asked them questions, right? Beforehand.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you probably knew who the son and you said dad, mom, son, and who?
Yeah. So mom and dad were 69 and 70. Son was 40. And then there was another son that was there, but he already actually had a pretty decent plan, but his daughter wasn't covered. And I was like, you have a decent plan, but your daughter's not covered. So basically, if you're focusing on mom and dad, whether it's a mortgage lead or it's a final expense lead, and there's other adults or other people walking around, you should, obviously if it's a budget thing, that's one thing, but you should be asking questions to where you can try to see if you can get at least 3 apps in the house. Cause that's one thing from day one that Michelle's kind of always, I always say preach, but basically told us about is if you get at least three apps in a home, you're going to have a client for life. Because what are they going to do? They're not going to cancel one and then not the other two.
Right.
It's you're going to have the family. It's a family involvement type of thing. So
right. That's huge.
Yeah.
It's a really good story.
Yeah, absolutely. That was pretty much my week. The rest of it was sending birthday texts and stuff like that. But
Cool.
not every week you're going to have good production on the birthday text. Other times you're going to have multiple people get back in contact with you, but it's good income producing activity. So it's worth it.
Yeah. Another thing too, I think that goes along with sending those texts is, I've been getting a lot of calls from just sending a thank you card.
Yeah.
To once a month to all the clients I help that month. Right.
Right.
So if you're new, that's a tip for you. Don't wait 5 years to start doing it like I did. you know?
It's a good way to get good referrals too. It's
Right.
because it keeps you in their memory.
Right, because most people just forget about you. They're not like purposely, trying to. It's just life happens, right?
Right.
And so it's our job as professionals to make sure we stay in touch with them.
Absolutely. Mhm.
So yeah, thanks for sharing, Katie. Appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah, no worries. Thanks.
Anybody else?
Hi, I'd like to share something.
Okay.
Well, I'm still working on getting my patterns broke that I want to detach from, and I'm working on a lot of organizing and whatnot, but I did call someone and was able to set an appointment for a recruit. So
Mhm.
that's for tomorrow at 12 noon, and I don't know exactly how to go about it, but I'm excited because I was able to call someone that knew me a long time ago. We met once and he remembered me and he said, and I just prayed for an angel to call me. And here you are. And I said, oh,
Mhm.
well, that's awesome. There's a reason for it. I prayed with him. I mean, it was beautiful. And and he, I believe this is something that could benefit anyone. So I'm excited for him to meet someone.
Yeah, for sure. So was that someone you already knew, Sharon?
Right. I used to be a property manager. So I called him because certain people, I was kind of selling insurance on the side. Certain people I would talk to, I would keep their information. I said, that's somebody I'm going to try to catch and talk to them again. And so I have a lot of people like that I've been reaching out to, and I've sold policies to my old property, old people, old storage customers.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I love these stories, so
Hmm.
I
And
can't wait to start banging these numbers out.
there's plenty of them. I mean, the reality is, if they're gonna get the insurance, which they're gonna eventually do it, they're gonna get it from someone, right?
Right.
So it might as well be you, right? You
Right.
already, you're doing way better than I did with, warm market. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving War Market. And I also made a very good appointment. I say that because she's already my client, so I'm excited. She's gonna look at retirement, tax-free retirement. So that's really good news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Sharon.
Hey,
It's good to
Johnny.
see
I got
Jim.
something to throw in real quick. You talked about working, the fact that we all have current clients if you've been here for just, 6 months. I had an appointment last year with a family that at the time, well, they had some health issues, and then one lady had some weight issues that she was having weight loss surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a policy that was graded, and it was actually, for what they had at the time, it was one of the ones that I would have offered. And so I told them that. I said, you should keep this. And if I have something better, I'll let you know. And so I did get back with them whenever Sons of Norway came out.
Mm-hmm.
And, she remembered who I was and invited me straight out. And we ended up, not only doing one for her, which was going to be, a lot less expensive than what she had, or somewhat less expensive. But I also, had written in my notes that there was like a 32-year-old son who I'd spoke with. He was kind of needed to be in on the meetings because mom and dad were older, and he had HIV. And, because of his age, I didn't have anything that was a regular life policy I could offer him at the time. So, I told him, hey, now I actually can get you covered now. And so I wrote him as well. And then his ex, who actually was living in the same home, I was talking about IULs. I'm not sure how it, just sort of drifted into conversation, and
Mhm.
he called that guy into the room and he brought me statements. I mean, he had just gotten an IUL from a competitor, which was, one of our better. I mean, it was a reasonably good product, just not as good as what we have.
Mhm.
And he had a real good relationship with that agent. And so I didn't try to talk bad about, that. In fact, I told him that, hey, that company, I think it was Woodman's. Does that sound right? So
Mhm.
they're a fraternal benefit. They're like a Foresters. And I told him, yeah, lots of times these are some of the best companies. And so I told him what he had was good. And I could tell just by, taking cues and paying attention that he liked this agent. But I said, you know what, let me just take look at it real quick. I took a couple pictures and just said, if you want, I'm going to show you, we actually worked with a couple of the best in the country as far as interest goes,
Mhm.
and has a few more benefits too, just to show you.
Mhm.
And this guy actually makes a lot of money. And, so because of that, and just talking to everyone in the home, I'm going back tomorrow to write him a $4,800 IUL.
Right.
And he wants to talking about all the new products too. I had showed him as well the Americo CBO 100,
Mhm.
and he liked that, but he actually thought that might be better because he wants, the reason I asked him, because this guy's single, 30s. It's like, what's this for? What are you getting this for? It's all for his sister. And so, I've showed some options to him, and then he said, this one would be good for my sister, this money back one. He wants to get that for her. So we're going to write her up as well. So
So
it's just talking to everybody in the home. And,
yeah.
but the reason I was able to call back is I put it in my calendar,
Mhm.
and a reminder pops up that says, hey, weight loss surgery was 3 months ago. Call back and, see where they're at.
Yeah.
And so just those little notes. And then I always put repeat on the reminder.
Mhm.
Sometimes you don't get hold of people, like it'll remind me every week or every day or whatever, but absolutely.
I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
You're really good with products and stuff, but for the new people and for yourself, when you first started, you were writing a lot of different stuff. What are some things you did when you were newer and obviously didn't know all these things? Like, did you change much in getting to know them at all, or?
You know what? I mean, our two main carriers that we work with at the Alliance is Foresters and Columbian Financial Group.
Mhm.
And I focused on those two products. I mean, you can cover most people
Mhm.
with those two. And I ended up getting, for Columbian Financial Group, their term, I got one for myself, the
Mhm.
biggest one I could. It was $250,000 with double if it's an accident.
Mhm.
And then I got a Forester's policy. I got myself an accidental for $300,000 with return of premium. So I had a policy from both those carriers. I always would have it with me, and I could show it to people. Hey, here's what I have.
Mhm.
And then I can talk about the benefits from Foresters because I use them. So you don't. The great thing is it's good to get contracted and have access to these others. But I didn't learn about the other products when I was new.
Mhm.
I remember my second appointment. I went through and did the ATM, and then I called Michelle, and she spoke to the people. And you know what? That was one of my, to this day, that was probably one of my biggest sales. It was about 6,000 AP for final expense for a married couple that,
Mhm.
we're Facebook friends to this day. And I didn't know anything. I ended up being, one of them was Transamerica, and I didn't know anything about Transamerica, but I was contracted for him. So,
And you knew who to
but
call.
Mike helped me early on. I was worried about learning the forms and applications. And he's like, look, name, address, phone number, social. If you can read, you can ask the questions, and they're either yes or no. And
Right.
so as soon as that was like my second or third appointment, I no longer was worried about trying to learn products, because I'm like, Well, you know, what's the best way to learn a product is to sell one of them. Then you go through the questions, you read them, you understand them more. And so I would start with those two, just keep it real simple. Try to learn one product a week, you know, if you're more, but don't sit around trying to learn this stuff, because we're always learning. I mean, we have what, 3 new carriers right now, and I'm still getting the handle on, you know, selling my first few policies with them. So it can seem overwhelming. The good thing is that's what we're here for, is if it's going to take a special product that you're not familiar with, we'll tell you. And then all you got to do is just name, address, phone number, read the questions.
And you're good at getting to know people too, which I would say is, you know,
Yeah,
the bigger factor.
For most people, I mean, Michelle said that it was really hard. This was not how I sold stuff my whole life. I was always in B2B, business to business sales. And life insurance truly is different. It is emotional. People need to trust you, and you really need to go in with the attitude that you want to help them. You want to do what's best for them. Just like I told the people on that appointment that I'm talking about, that, you know what, I can't do anything for you today, but I might be able to. And also what you've got right now, I mean, I'll tell them if I don't think they should keep it, because I would have sold them something different. But if they have what's best at that time, or something, that I'll let them know. You know, it may not be the best, but you know, I'll give them my honest opinion. If it's better, I would have offered something else. But that builds credibility if you tell the truth, and if you're honest with people, and then, you know, they'll believe you when you call back.
Yeah, it's great.
And how do you learn the other products, Jeff? How'd you learn if it was the best for them?
You know what? It's just after that, I quit trying to, because I'd spent 6 months, you know, trying to learn products and trying to, you know, being nervous about doing the ATM and stuff. I finally just went and did it, because Michelle said, go, set an appointment, go. Just do that first. Because if you don't have that, you know, the state of Texas said I was well, I don't know if I was an expert, but I was allowed to do this. I knew a lot more about insurance than 99% of the people I was going to talk about.
Right.
And every day that I was out there on appointments, I was going to learn more.
That's right.
I didn't learn about IULs until one day I was in the office and I looked on Michelle's desk and I saw the first illustration. She didn't really talk about it. We didn't push them back then. And I look at it, I'm like, what's this? Oh, that's an IUL, an Index Universal Life. It was for your grandkids. And I looked at the cash growth and I was like, this is insane. You know, how come I don't know about this? And so I was really, I studied IULs after that. But just start, if you're new, I would start with, what is it? Columbia Financial Group has 2 products. And they cover most people. And Foresters, you know, is another great one. If it's a family, I'm usually going to try to do Foresters, but and then you kind of go out from there. You know, you could, if you got the app on your phone, just you run quotes and just go to see people. That's how to learn this, is you can make money while you're doing it. And Sharon's a perfect example of that. She's just gone out and did it.
Right.
Very, very inspiring. And I wanted to say hi to Olivia too. I saw she was on the call earlier. Olivia Castillo. It looks like she still is. So miss you, Olivia.
Yeah, we're glad.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Good.
Thank
Good to see your
you.
picture.
Thank you.
Yeah, things have gotten real good. You know, things have changed a lot here in the past year or so.
Yeah.
We make more money. We've got more products. We're, you know, it really has stepped up quite a bit.
I know it's getting close to ending, but you want to go over summer?
Yeah. So
Hey,
go ahead, Michelle.
I just wanted to say, I had something interesting happen this week, and I want to shout out to my daughter, Megan, because, you know, we have this great product called HMA, and I own it, but I didn't even, I never look at my account or pay attention to it. And so finally I loaded up my account on my phone, and, you know, we have these great trainings every Monday at 6:30 on HMA. So if you don't know how to sell the product, And then today someone called me that I had been talking to about HMA. I just sold a $300 a month HMA today. So thank you, Megan, for just kind of getting me on that. And I got on the training tonight too. But it's fantastic training. This product, oh, we have so many great products. We can't cover them all today. We'll come back next week. We'll talk more about it. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks, Michelle. It's good to see you on, Tanya, if you can hear me. Glad you were able to get on. How have
Yes,
you
hi,
been?
Jonathan. Doing well. Thank
Doing
you.
good. Awesome. Awesome. Glad you're here. All right. So before we get off, it's about time. So I just want to remind everybody we're doing the summer conference in July. So if you don't have Slack downloaded, please get that. It's on the 411 channel, but it's July 7th and 8th. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's going to be in Dallas. It is about $150 for both days. That's Topgolf, that's food, and that's the training. I understand it's, a trip for some of us, but if you can try to get there, it's going to be a really good event. It'll be worth your time. If you can look me in the eyes and tell me it's not, I'll give you your money back. So there, I said it. So just gotta look me in the eyes and say it. So we're gonna have a bunch of top people there doing training. So please come. It'll be a fun time as well, not all work. So that's all I got.
Close it out.
We're done.
We're done.
Good
See you
to
on the-
see everybody. Thank y'all. Thank you for taking the time. See you next Monday.
Have a
Go
good
Bye,
night.
everybody.
Thank you.
See you on the sales meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Sorry.
All right.
Central Standard Time. Going off there in 3,